Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 69 of Those Muckrakers. I'm Pete.
Yeah, and I'm Pat.
Yeah, I get it. Episode 69, we're children.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
we are.
Fucking lot has happened this week. Let's open it up by just fucking going after Ben fucking Carson.
Ben fucking Carson, Jesus Christ. Like, I am madder at Ben Carson today than I am at Donald Trump. Because, I mean, now, I know at the end of the day, Trump is the one that created this monster. That's like being madder at Slash than you are at the Shredder in Ninja Turtles, right? Like, the Shredder still mutated Slash. He still set him on the loose. So it's still ultimately the Shredder's fault. But if Slash is really badly hurting people, you still gotta be like, that guy's worse than the Shredder today.
Basically, Ben Carson represents the more dangerous type of evil in the world. He represents incompetent, sleepy evil that doesn't do its job and just, was it 15 or 15,000 people that died? I'm sorry, cookies, what?
So, speaking of cookies, let's go through all the different points. Katie Porter said, maybe if you don't know, you can get back to me on the disparity rates of the Rio. You do know what a Rio is. And Ben Carson replies, you mean an Oreo?
So
No,
here's the thing about...
Not an Oreo, a Rio.
Here's the thing about...
R-E-O.
Here's the thing
Real
about...
estate, what does the O stand for? Organization? No, RIO stands for real estate owned. It's what happens when a property goes into foreclosure.
So here's the thing. I didn't know what an REO was before this either, right?
An Oreo?
God damn it, Ben Carson. I didn't know what it was either, but I quickly figured it out. And also, it's not my job to know what a fucking REO is. But yeah, it stands for real estate. What does the E stand for?
Estate.
Wait, what? Real estate estate?
That's what the E stood for. The O stands for owned.
So real estate owned, right?
Right.
Yes, yeah. So like...
It's whenever a property goes into foreclosure, it becomes an REO, but there is a disparity rate between who is having their property foreclosed on them, and it's disproportionately affecting minorities.
Right.
So they're saying, we need to talk about this. We need to find out why this is happening, because African-American women in particular, minority women in particular, are being really badly hurt by this, and they're trying to figure out why that is. So they're talking to him about the minority women inclusion, or OMWI, which is a huge part of his job. And they wanted to talk to him about how much he had learned about it over the past 2 years.
This stupid motherfucker, when they asked about the REOs, he legitimately thought they were talking about cookies. He was like, do I know Oreos? Oh yeah, I know a thing or two about Oreos. You could dunk them in milk. You could even have them with coffee. I'm like, why does he have a job right now?
I don't know. Maybe he should just be like retired at home eating cookies, which is clearly what he wants to do. But I miss Betty.
I can't even say what I think ought to happen to him because we would break our primary rule of
let's not even say what that rule is. People can listen to past episodes if they want to know.
No, yeah, we don't.
It becomes too obvious what we're saying if we start discussing.
Yeah, we don't threaten members of Congress.
The first rules of Muck Club is we do not talk about Muck Club. The second rule is please tell all your friends about Muck Club. We need more members.
I'll soften my stance. I do think he should be tarred and feathered and ridden out of town on a rail.
But with cold tar, we don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt him. I want to embarrass him, but like, I can't even imagine tarring and feathering.
Tar and Oreoing him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine tarring and feathering having an effect on Ben Carson because either A, he's so stupid, or B, he's so doped up on Xanax or something that like you can imagine tarring and feathering Ben Carson, and then right as he's ridden out of town on a rail, he just goes, "Oh, look at that! I'm a big old chicken, bok bok, a bok bok bok." Like it's like it doesn't faze him.
We're gonna tar and feather you. We're gonna tar at what movie now?
How was he a surgeon?
I don't know. A brain surgeon. Apparently he operated on himself.
And it went horribly wrong.
So the minority women inclusion, or OMWI, Miss Betty asked him about that, and she's like, now are you familiar with OMWI and what it is? And he's like, with who? we. Amway? We. Come on,
I'm
Mr.
sorry, I don't speak Chinese, but I do eat Chinese. It's good.
And this is Miss Betty's exact quote. We. Come on, Mr. Secretary. I asked you this when you were here last year, and you asked me to be nice to you. And you turned to your staff. We. You have an we director, and we wrote you a letter about it. And we. Amway.
Yeah.
But it gets worse.
Oh Jesus, how does it fuck? Does that make me am I the president now? Do I get to go to the White House? Is that what this is?
First, should I give you the worst part or the more infuriating part first? Because we have two different directions we could go. We're going both ways.
I'm already infuriated, so fucking dealer's choice. It doesn't matter to me at this point.
Okay, the worst part is Sylvia Garza says, so you're going to ship, this is Ben Carson's plan here, okay? You're going to ship 55,000 children from their homes and their families into homeless status. What is going to happen to these children? Have you thought this program through? So he's about to make 55,000 children homeless, right?
Was this where he's trying to basically evict immigrants?
I don't know.
Or is this where is this the one where he's
so.
trying to just basically raise the rates on subsidized housing so it'll make a bunch of people homeless?
This could be the aggregate of those two things.
Yeah.
But he's going to badly hurt a lot of Americans with this.
Well, let me guess.
You know what Ben Carson's response is?
Let me guess. Hold on. Let me do a guess real quick. Maybe they'll become like a scrappy child gang from like an Oliver Twist type story where they'll learn the meaning of friendship and maybe play a little baseball in a sandlot.
And they will rise up and trick other people into painting the fences for them, but they will still get paid for it. And then we'll all take a cruise down the river, and they will call me by words which are no longer appropriate in today's lexicon.
I believe we've all seen the cover of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and by looking at that cover, I feel that everything will work out.
But Ben Carson's actual response to him, right? He is about to put 55,000 children out into the streets. Ben Carson says, well, maybe what will happen with them is that you in Congress will do your job and solve the problem.
I hope they will, and I hope they'll start by removing him from HUD. I hope
that's what needs to happen, right? Like that would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. He's like, not only was he woefully inadequate for the job, but he spent money on new furniture, and then I don't think he works. I think he shows up to an office somewhere,
either.
Probably not even the right office, late, and then goes and has a long lunch and takes a nap, and I think that's all he's been doing.
That's what Trump does, you know. Whenever he does show up to the White House, he might pose for pictures in a meeting, but he doesn't really listen. He just sort of waits for his time to talk. He's like sitting there defensively, arms crossed, pouting because they're not letting him make the words right now. And then he goes and fucks off to watch Fox News and eat cheeseburgers in the Lincoln bedroom.
I can't imagine, like, I never thought I would say that there's anybody in government right now dumber than Trump, but I think that Carson has done it.
And now the more infuriating bit, the final bullet point for the Ben Carson story this week. So just last week, Ben Carson spent another $31,000 of taxpayer money on a new dining set, and then an additional $9,000 for a dishwasher.
What
so
fucking...
him buying a desk was not a standalone issue. He is continuing to gouge taxpayers for new furniture.
Why do you need a dishwasher if you're the HUD secretary?
I don't know. He got it for his office, by the way. Not even for, like, at home.
How many
$9,000 dishwasher.
How many dishes are you using in your fucking office?
I don't know.
Also, don't you have unpaid interns to do that shit? I know what happened. Fucking they got him with one of those like fucking scams, or like someone called him and fucking sold him a $9,000 dishwasher. That's what it is. I can't wait till...
How much do dishwashers cost? Those things can't be more than like $400 or $500, right?
Yeah, I'd like a top rate one is a couple $100. Like, there's no reason you need a $9,000. What does it do? Blow you and the dishes? I don't understand what a $9,000 dishwasher could look like.
I have friends who have bought multiple cars over the course of their life that cumulatively have paid less than $9,000 for every car that they've owned combined.
I can't wait till
Like,
they try
this
to
is
figure out.
insane how these out-of-touch rich assholes think that $9,000 for an office dishwasher is okay.
Mark my words, the next meeting with him will be going, Mr. Carson, can you tell us why HUD has no money? And he's going to be like, well, you see, a Nigerian prince sent me an email, and it turns out that they need help. And also, they would be willing to give me upwards of $600 if I would just send them a $10,000 check and a brand new dishwasher. So, how about maybe you do your job and be nice to me? Like, you fucking idiot, man. Like, god damn.
I told you, I'm particularly pissed off at Ben Carson this week. So there we go. We just put all of the anger straight into our listeners' ear holes for them to chew on that and be as furious as we are.
Well, let's move to a let's make a little bit of a Dear Amy sandwich here. So this might infuriate you. It might not. It might have you saying what the fuck. But this little story comes from Dear Amy, and it's called "Woman Ponders the Prospect of a Cruel Stepmother." And she says, "Dear Amy, I'm a happily married woman in my 30s." So a lot of times these things start out with information that we don't need. And that first sentence, we didn't need any of that. 2 years ago, my mom tragically died of cancer. Well, I also say to you, is there any other way to die of cancer? And she says it devastated my father. A year after that, he married Maria. While I'm thrilled that Dad seems happy and less lonely, I can't help but notice how cruel Maria seems to be. The first thing she did... Well, you're about to get a lot of people. First thing she did after moving in was have my mother's beloved dog put to sleep.
Sorry for all the dog lovers out there for laughing. That's so, cartoonishly cruel it made me laugh.
She said the dog was old and, quote, they had decided they didn't want any pets anymore, unquote. Could you have just maybe given the dog to someone else? Nope, I guess you're consolidating power.
I like to imagine she did it with her bare hands too, like she didn't even go to a place.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
This dog, no.
After that, I received a package in the mail full of my paintings.
I thought they were about to say full of the dog.
I'm an artist, and several of my paintings were displayed around the house. Maria had taken them down because, quote, they decided to redecorate, unquote. Well, all right, well, I guess that's, And then it says, I live 2 hours away, and when I call them, I rarely get to speak to my father. Maria always answers the phone. And if I ask for him, she will say, he's too tired right now, or that he's in the shower. I don't know if Maria gives him my messages, because when I do get to talk to him, he acts like I haven't called in years. I'm a grown woman, and I'm happy to see my father have companionship, but the last thing I want to be is petty, but I'm kind of hurt by this woman's actions, and I need an objective outsider to tell me if my feelings are out of line. Obviously, I still miss my mom terribly, so maybe that is marring my judgment. What should I do or say to this woman, if anything?
I think it's fine. Ask your dad if he's been getting the calls, but odds are he might actually just be really tired, sad, depressed, whatever. He could still be really happy to hear from you and know that you've been calling a lot at the same time.
Or Maria might have him chained up in the bedroom.
Possibly.
I'm
picturing in a good way though, right? Like an S&M way.
Oh, I was thinking
he is busy right now.
I was thinking in a bad way when he's like, I haven't seen my family. You shut up, or I'll do you like the dog. My problem with it was I feel like just immediately moving in and putting the dog down was kind of a power move, honestly. You're like, I run this family now. I do. Me.
Definitely is. She wants to create the perfect habitat for herself. Everyone else's feelings be damned. I don't know if she's a bad person necessarily. I'd have to see her, interact with her.
I don't know. Putting a cherished family dog down before letting any of the other family know is...
I know a lot of people do look at pets the same way they do family members, and it's like, oh, she moved in and she decided she didn't want me to have a little brother anymore, so she put him down.
I would
That would
actually,
be the equivalent of that.
I would actually be less bothered by that than putting down of the dog.
They said it was an old dog. I don't know how old. It might have
Well,
been
they
like
also said
incontinent, and she's all like, "It pooped on me first day I was here."
they also said they didn't want pets anymore, so that's kind of telling. It was old. Also, we did not want any pets. Oh shit! All right.
So maybe it wasn't old, and she just wanted to kill a dog.
I think it was a power move. I think she's when
Cannot get my rocks off, and this small animal die in my hands.
when you become when you become the king or the queen, the first thing you got to do is demonstrate the reach of your power. And I guess
she moved in and immediately bit the head off the family parakeet. It was weird.
Yeah, she said the parakeet was old and tasted weird, and we were like, what?
I really love parakeets, so now I'm sad.
Well, I would circumvent this. I would just get my dad one of those Cricket cell phones and be like, hey, Dad, this is just so...
Oh, get him a burner phone.
Yeah,
that way you can just call him directly and be like, don't let Maria know I'm calling.
Yeah. Shh, I hear her outside. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh, no, I just caught what's happening. The first word for name right there. It's in the title. Mar. It's Maria. Oh, my God, he married Mar. The dog must die. It's emitting a smoke smell. Rawr.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's also hard for people to see their parents, I guess.
Hobby is not available, daughter. If you would like to speak with him, call back again. Never. This is my house, and hate your paintings. They're an eyesore. Rawr.
Yeah, I feel like she was most butthurt over the paintings. She's like, I'm an artist. Well, apparently not a good one, because... And they were nice. They gave them back to you. She didn't be like, what do you want to do with the paintings? Bury them with the dog.
I still like my first take on that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but to open the box that they sent me, and it was Fluffy was in there.
But it's, yeah, like she put the dog down and she mailed me the cat. Yeah.
Why is the package meowing?
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard for people to see their parents get remarried, especially when they're older. But I mean, fuck it, man. As long as it's not like, she's stealing his Social Security checks, leave him be.
And they find out that 2 years earlier she also was tired of her future husband having a wife, so she put the mom down.
Yeah,
it wasn't the cancer; it was Maria all along.
I was gonna say it's one of those Finkel. As long as it's not one of those Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. I think you're okay.
Yeah. So So our advice is to get your dad a burner phone, and that way you can find out if he's really getting your calls or not.
Yeah, and start meeting him in dark alleys and stuff.
That would actually be fun. Oh, and also start sneaking into the house each night and put up new paintings of yours and tell her you have no idea what she's talking about. Those have always been there. You never took them down.
Oh,
Gaslight the fuck out of her. That'd be hilarious.
I was just going to send her a FedEx box full of fucking wasps.
Just a jar of red wasps.
Not even a jar. Just throw a hornet's nest in a box and tape it up real quick. And then ship it next day shipping to her, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, wasps, especially paper wasps, will be able to chew through the packaging, so that would be a concern of mine for like the mailman.
Well, once it's out of my house, I don't care. I'm not putting.
Everyone gets the bees.
Yeah, I'm not putting a return address on that fucking thing. So.
Why? Yeah, why would you ever?
But yeah. So
no, put Wesley's address as the return address.
That's what I always do, man. Whenever I have to fill out a fake name, I'm just like, my name is Wesley Bowen, and I live at.
I live at 1-800 Tornado Alley.
Yeah, I always like to give out his address and phone number for anything. Like when the
then
cops...
Wesley calls up and he's all like, "They sent me bees again. They said it was a return to sender. Who is this Mr. Sender, and why does he keep sending me bees?" Oh.
Whenever I get like the cops hassle me and they're like, "Hey, buddy, what's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, my name is Wesley Bowen, and I'm from Collins, Georgia."
100 Tornado Alley. Oh.
Is that his real address?
No.
I was like, do we just give his address out on the air?
No, I like saying Tornado Alley because that's his Cattellville address.
Gotcha. All right, you want to go on the next Dear Abby, or you want to do some more like, what's Trump doing today?
I want 2 more Wesley impressions. Let's do a Dear Amy or Abby.
All right.
Or do we want to like have this be like a layered sandwich where we do a bit of Trump news and then we get back to good times? Let's do that. Let's do more shit stuff.
All right, we'll do more shit stuff because I got two. I got two really good. Actually, I just found an even better Dear Abby that I cannot wait to share.
Oh, we're gonna need them because this next one's a doozy. In those fucking assholes news, Mnuchin this week has delayed the Harriet Tubman image from appearing on the $20 bill until 2028.
Yeah.
And he did that just to be a tremendous asshole. See, she was scheduled to be replacing the genocidal maniac Andrew Jackson in 2020. We've waited a long time for this, a long fucking time, and he kicked it down the road just to be a feckless Ivanka.
Well, the thing about it is, and we talked about this earlier, is I fucking love Harriet Tubman. I think there should be a Harriet Tubman action movie. She was the original. She was the original Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, she was a fucking commando. She still, to this date, is the only civilian female to ever lead a U.S. military commando raid behind enemy lines during wartime. She's a fucking badass. And I just imagine that, like, it is a great honor to be on the 20, but, like, man, Harriet Tubman don't give a fuck about you, Mnuchin. She came, she did what she had to do. She not only won her freedom, but fucking saved hundreds of other people with a bounty on her head and made the South look like a pack of dicks.
Yep.
Yeah, so while it's fucked up, also it just, fucking Harriet Tubman, I just imagine if she was here today, she'd just have some kind of weird witticism about, like, it doesn't matter, and call you a piece of shit in the same witticism without using the word shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, Mnuchin's trying to say it's just PR going crazy, or however he puts it, but damn it, she definitely deserves to be on money. She is an American hero, and they are refusing to let that be known.
And I got mixed feelings on Jackson. Yeah, he was a homicidal psycho, but also he did it for America. I don't know if that makes it better. Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, Trump's trying to beat his kill count, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but the difference is that, like, Jackson, honestly, I don't think he wanted those natives to die on the Trail of Tears. I think he wanted the Native Americans. I think he would have preferred.
He just sort of Ben Carsoned it.
No,
I'm
not
sure
even
these people
that.
are gonna die. Oreo.
I think he would have preferred to have strangled each man, woman, and child with his own hands while looking into their eyes. I just don't think that was feasible with his other presidential duties. I mean, to be fair, he also threatened the shit out of South Carolina.
Well, that's funny at least.
Like, they were like, "We're gonna secede if you don't fix the taxes," and Jackson's like, "If you fucking think you're gonna secede from the Union, I'm gonna come down there with the army, and I'm gonna cut your fucking head off." And they were like, "God damn, okay, all right. Well, this is politics, Usually I say a couple things and you say a couple things, but you kind of went a little too far. All right, I guess we'll delay secession." Yeah, like he literally threatened to cut off Henry Clay's head. Like, I have a quote about it.
But speaking of secession, so Chip Roy from Texas just recently decided to hurt white people for some reason, which is really weird.
Well, we do deserve it. We do deserve it.
Right, but he's doing it because he wants to be able to hurt more brown people, and they're not letting him. So, because they're not letting him hurt brown people, he's going to also hurt white people until they let him hurt more brown people.
I got to get these white people that are standing between me and the brown people out of the way. What's he doing?
So he just recently blocked what would have been a unanimous vote on disaster relief funding legislation because it didn't include a, quote, quite modest $4.4 billion for border security. So this is all these people in Texas that have been hit with hurricanes and tornadoes and shit. There was a massive disaster relief bill going out for them, and it was unanimously voted. It was going to go and save so many lives.
How was that one guy able to block it?
I don't know. He's just He's a guy from Texas positioned in such a way that he could block the whole thing and shut it down. Well, also, isn't he like a? I don't know what the fuck he is, but anyway, he was able to block it successfully. So yeah, no one's gonna get help because he's not allowed to fuck up more brown people.
Here's the other thing about it. We need to go through at a certain point and do disaster relief on our democracy any of these ways or Senate rules or any of this stuff where one person can block a
everything.
unanimous decision
Yeah,
need to be stricken. That
what I was
should
about
not
to
happen.
say is, I think he's I'm pretty sure he's a senator that's able to, and they're able to completely shut down legislation if they want. Like any one of them can block anything else. The same way, Lindsey Graham was able to block shit the other day.
Yeah.
That was otherwise unanimous. But
that's a bad idea, and that
but I don't know for certain he's a senator. It's like, oh shit, I should have looked
It's
that
too
up.
much
It could
power.
be like but anyway,
too much power for one person to hold.
So, speaking of too much power, God, so do we do transgender mass extinction news, Trump the transparent news, Trump meltdown on live TV, or not surprising corporation corruption news?
Well, let me hit you with a short one real quick. Apparently, Trump is now trying to pardon convicted American war criminals.
March of the Murderers news. Fox News host Peter Hegseth has recently encouraged Trump to pardon servicemen accused of war crimes.
Yeah.
So he's going to do it. But go ahead, Peter, tell us about
their
it.
whole argument is, so they basically did this whole thing where they got real smart, created a feedback loop, put a whole bunch of segments on Fox News about how, like, American soldiers being railroaded by civilian oversight for just doing their jobs.
Right, like raping people for years and years on the battlefield.
Was that one of the actual war crimes?
Yes.
Okay.
One guy who had been raping women for the last 2 years.
One guy stabbed a wounded prisoner to death. Yeah, there's a bunch of horrible stuff. Anyway, point being, war crimes exist and everyone should be prosecuted for them, but, like, they fucking did a whole Fox News segment on it, and then, like, the feedback loop got to Trump, and so now he's just like, I think that sometimes we send them out to do a hard job and we don't do a very good job of taking care of them. Like, look, man, I'm not saying that the military is easy. I'm not saying that job is easy, but I am saying that you volunteered for it and you have a standard you have to uphold, and that whole, they have to make split-second decisions. Well, if the split-second decision comes...
If it is a split-second decision, then I can forgive just about anything if a person's life was reasonably in danger. That's the reason why provocation laws exist. Like, if you say something to someone else and they're right in front of you, and like, oh, your mother died today. Well, that's funny. And then they punch you in the face. You cannot get them on assault because you just provoked them and they had zero time to think about it or react to it. On the battlefield, that's magnified many times because people can fucking shoot at you. So whoever it is, whoever happens to be firing at you, it should always be okay to fire back and defend yourself. But if it's something, if someone called someone else and said, hey, I heard your mother died today, that's funny, then hung up, you had to get in your car, drive all the way to where they live, and then punch them, then they can still get you on assault because you had time to reasonably think about what was happening.
Well,
that's how that provocation law works,
I don't understand how they square that.
Similarly, if someone on the war or in a war zone is able to capture a civilian and just sit around with them all day poking at them with a knife or their penis, that's fucked up and that should be prosecutable.
Yeah, the whole idea that, like, they had to make a split-second decision to rape many people over 2 years. You don't know, you weren't in war. I go, yeah, but I don't really see how raping people is going to help you win the war or the war effort. It just seems like you're fucked up. Yeah, so he's fucking pardoning these
Not
people.
Unless it involves like an octopus kaiju from Japan released on the battlefield.
Do you have to rape an octopus kaiju to beat it?
Octopus kaijus from Japan tend to rape people.
Well, then
I'm weaponizing it.
Then you still wouldn't be committing a war crime because your job still would not be to rape civilians to defeat this octopus.
That's true.
Yeah, you're fucking... See? Even your argument doesn't hold up. All right.
You're right.
Next story.
Next story. Oh, my God. So we have so many, like, little stories here. Let's do corruption news. Bank CEO Stephen Kalk? C-A-L-K?
Stephen Kalk, yeah.
Stephen Kalk has been identified by a federal grand jury and charged in connection with a plan to exchange $16 million in loans to Paul Manafort for his help in getting Kalk a Trump administration position. What's fun about this subpoena is it is not one of the 11 still sealed subpoenas. This is a brand new one that
Did
just
he
recently
do this
came
while
out.
Manafort was in jail? Are they still fucking with him?
Manafort did this while he was still working for Trump.
Okay. I thought, like, from jail, Manafort's like, hey, if you can get me $61 million. And I'm like, why is anybody still dealing with him?
Yeah, this is one of many shady. Like, this is the definition of corruption, where someone just like Betsy DeVos, they just pay money to get a major position in government. And with Betsy DeVos, she got away with it because she got the position. This guy did not get the position, so he's going to jail. That's how politics works.
Yeah.
If you win, you get away with everything. If you lose everything. So it's just like with the Master of Whispers in Game of Thrones, just like he said to that one little girl, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yep.
Trump
So
completely fucked over the nation, destroyed his family name, destroyed everything, and is putting millions of lives at risk. But he became president with a stolen electoral college scam, and so he gets away with it, and he is above the law. He is above the law.
all right, you ready for this?
There, let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's step away from the shitstorm.
Refusal to replace missing tooth eats at man's partner. My partner recently lost one of his lateral incisors. I assume the lateral incisor is that like little one that's kind of slightly to the right or left of your main teeth, right? The little sharp ones.
Yeah, the vampire teeth.
Yeah. He got a prosthetic tooth to wear until he gets an implant, which looks fine if he wears it. The problem is it isn't comfortable. He can't eat with it, and he often prefers to leave it out. He also does this at home.
Ask him not to smile when he does this, and everything's fine.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. And here's where it gets stupid. We live in a major metropolitan city. Having missing teeth is just not acceptable. Aside from it being bad for his dental health, he looks like a jack-o'-lantern when he smiles, which is extremely unattractive. I feel it's socially and professionally detrimental. Every time I broach the subject of moving forward with the implant, he responds with a fierce opposition, which inevitably ends in an argument. Any advice? That's the tooth in San Francisco.
So, tell me the last thing you said before that's the tooth in San Francisco.
He responds with fierce opposition, which inevitably ends in an argument. Any advice?
Right before that. I mean, what was that? He doesn't want to get the implant.
Yeah, every time
he doesn't want to push it up.
Every time I broach the subject forward with the implant, he responds with fierce opposition.
I thought he was gonna get one.
He is, but I guess she's like, "You gonna get that implant yet?" And he's like, "Get off my back!"
It's okay. So here's the thing. Getting the implant won't take that long, so maybe it's a money issue.
Yeah, that's what they say. And the thing they go, maybe is he?
I mean, implants are expensive as fuck, by the way, if anyone's not aware.
Well, they're like, is he afraid of? Is he afraid of the pain? Does he not have the money?
Let me promise you, someone that has spent a fuckload of time at the dentist, there is almost no pain associated with getting almost any dental work, right? Like, it's a very, very painless procedure these days. There's no pain after the fact. It's not like whenever you go to get normal surgery and like parts of your body cut open, how you're just hurting for weeks and recovering for weeks after. I mean, I've had teeth removed, wisdom teeth, nothing the next day, right? Like, people are saying, "Oh, you're gonna have to eat ice cream for a while." No, I'm fine. I'm good.
I think you should.
I've had most of my teeth crowned.
You should stop listening to those old people because A, that's your tonsils. B, if you have your fucking wisdom teeth removed, ice cream is not the thing to eat. You're just getting bad. You're gonna have to get physical therapy. What? No, Grandma. I said a tooth. A tooth.
Getting your arm removed. Ah! An Oreo removed. Well, that is completely painless. You just dip it in milk, and so here's the thing. This woman is being unreasonable. If he's missing a tooth, yeah, that's bad. But just say, look, I don't like looking at that. Just don't smile while it's missing. I would not say keep the false tooth in if it's uncomfortable, right? Like, that's asking someone to be in pain for your sake is usually unreasonable unless like that's your kink. If that's your kink, then whatever.
There's some people got like a dental kink. They're like, yeah, I like a man that looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah. If that's your thing, then cool. But otherwise, it's like don't ask him to wear that thing if he doesn't want to wear it. Maybe to work, like if he has a meeting with the bosses, then it's like, well, for work, just fucking suck it up.
I don't even think I don't know any job I've had where they'd be like, not gonna hire that guy. He's missing a tooth.
I'm picturing like board meetings and stuff, standing up with a PowerPoint presentation in front of a long table.
Just a CEO just whistling through the gap when he talks.
Hi there, y'all. What we're gonna do today is rebalance our finances.
Well,
I can't.
scoot on down closer to my seat.
Oh yeah, the fucking whispery guy from Family Guy. How does his voice go again?
Yeah, when he's like, better get on over here.
Come get your fat ass over here.
So I think that like
just say, look, don't point that thing at me if it's missing a tooth, but that should be like the end of it, right?
Are missing teeth really that attractive, or that unattractive? Like I've dated. I've dated a lot of people, and I know that
it depends on the severity of it, I guess. Like if they're just all gums, it's like okay, that's a bit much.
Yeah, I feel like if they're like a Dickens character where they've just got like ink stained teeth and they're like, "Hello, governor," I'd be like, maybe see a dentist. But one fucking incisor gone. It's kind of cute. It doesn't really bother me. Like, I'm in a relationship right now, and if, like, she came home without an incisor, I would be concerned. I'd be like, oh, my God, are you okay? What happened?
You might have to, like, incise her up to make sure she's okay, but...
But I also wouldn't be like, you look like a jack-o'-lantern, and I don't want to have sex with a jack...
Oh, my God, do I put a candle in your mouth? What do we do now?
I mean, like, dental hygiene is very important. It's super important, yes. But, like, we're talking about one missing tooth here. And it seems like your whole relationship is based on this one tooth. Maybe it's not that good a relationship.
And that's the truth of the matter.
That's the tooth and nothing but the truth. You know what? They should have named this one, You Can't Handle the Tooth!
No tooth handling do you do?
Do you swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah, man, fucking get off his back, have a real conversation with him. It just seems like you're fucking harassing him to get dental surgery. Like, come on, man.
She keeps this up. He might have to mull her over and decide if this is a good relationship for him.
Yeah, maybe she should let him chew on it for a while.
Aye.
But yeah, my suggestion to this person is go fuck yourself, man. Leave this dude alone. Also, I like how they're like, my favorite part is we live in a major metropolitan area. And it is not... Dude, I live in a major metropolitan area in New York City. Trust me. I've seen a lot more than just like, oh, that man's missing a tooth. Like, you really think that anybody in the fucking city gives a shit?
Shit, I just remembered. Weird Al has a song named Toothless People, and I don't remember any of the words to it. It's one of the very few songs I haven't memorized of his.
Is it a Beatles song? Is he like, all the toothless people, where do they all come from?
That would be cool. I need to look that up afterwards. Everyone out there listening to this episode, go look up that song. Actually, no, look up the Hot Rocks Polka. That's one of my favorites.
You know,
look up that song, and it's really fun and catchy, and it'll make your day.
I live in a major metropolitan area, and I'll tell you, I've never seen someone with a tooth and gone, I tell you what I have seen. I saw a man slow masturbating to the New Testament on a train. That was off-putting.
Yeah, you could barely finish yourself when staring at him. I've told that story before, and I'm just like, and does he not even know all the good stuff is in the Old Testament? What is he even doing? Yeah, like people, fucking like 600 women are in the Old Testament. That would be your King Solomon and the other people. King David, they both had like 500 wives.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They still had to kill soldiers to have even one more.
Yep. But yeah, fucking leave this dude's tooth alone. That's my...
What's your favorite Weird Al song? I think mine might be Frank's 2000-inch TV.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like them all. I like the whole catalog.
I like a lot of them. All About the Pentiums is fun, but it's so out of date, which is actually more fitting because it's all about how computers, all these tech and specs just fall out of date so fast. You say you had your laptop for over a week, throw that junk away, man, it's an antique.
All right,
so on.
Other stuff.
Desktop for over a week.
Other stuff going on in the government. It's just we talked earlier about this, but like
I can start at the top and just go down through it all. Like the transgender news, the Trump administration has now dismantled every single last major transgender protection that it possibly can. Everything that is within their power to remove, damage, destroy, they've done so.
Here's the thing about like trans rights that bothers me. You know, they're doing the same thing they did with like the LGBT community. You know, previously where they're trying to go, oh, it's a fucking medical condition, and it's dysmorphia, and da 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 da. It's like, look, leave people the fuck alone and let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like, I understand the you know, the idea of
It's just a fad. They want to have a vagina at that age. Everyone does, or something like that.
I understand the issue with like gender reassignment surgery, like before you're 18. You know, that's a little iffy because you know.
Well, if you're still growing, right? Like, wait until you're at your full adult height, and then you can like have major surgery like that.
But the thing is, we also like kids that are born like infrasex and stuff like that. The doctor just goes, well, call him A or call him B. Let's make a choice. Snip, snip, so. Like,
let's flip a coin.
Yeah. So you're having people that are assigned the wrong gender at birth. It ruins their lives.
Yeah. And this is sort of the same as that, except they weren't born with a column B, so now they're just stuck with column A when they should be column B.
And it's also a big thing, like, this is a group that has suffered and, like, is horribly...
Yes, and, like, the worst part of it is, and this is something that I never even thought of until it was pointed out to me, is that it's not... You know how normally they say it's okay to make fun of everything in media, right? Well, it's not that it's not okay to make fun of them in media. It's that they have always been exclusively made fun of in media. They have always been the butt of a joke. It has always been considered like absolutely okay to ridicule them to the nth degree.
Yeah, it was kind of like...
never have they been represented as anything other than the butt of a joke.
It's kind of like the whole jump Jim Crow thing way back in the day where they're like, it's okay to make fun of black people, jump Jim Crow, like...
Right, and they were never represented in media as anything other than silly, happy watermelon folk.
Well, you remember so much of the comedy of...
And nowadays that's looked back on with horror.
Yeah, so much of the comedy of yesteryear is like, hey, get it? A dude in a dress. Get it? Like, he's a dude, looks like a woman. Like that, there's so many, like, you can go back to movies in the 90s and go, oh my God. Like, that was...
Every film in the 90s had at least one transgender joke in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had, like, unintentional rape in them. Like, have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
Yep, that was pretty...
Yeah, a guy fucking rapes a woman under the bleachers in that one, and he's considered one of the protagonists of the films.
Yeah, so...
Because, it's silly. She thought it was a different boy, and then he took off the mask, and it was one of the nerds.
It's like...
But it's not rape because she's okay with it after the fact. Well, no, it's still rape because she didn't give consent to him. Well, she gave consent to her boyfriend, who was one of the antagonists.
If you want to get mad about consent,
like,
one of the states, or at least trying to pass a consent law saying you can't revoke consent once sex acts have been started.
That's wrong. That's very wrong.
That is the height of insanity. Like, consent is consent, and you should be able to revoke it at any point.
Yeah, consent is an ongoing thing, right? Like, what if you start having sex and like just start punching whoever you're having sex with, and they're like, no, fucking stop! What the fuck? Right, that totally recontextualizes the whole event.
What if I start...
I don't know, there could be a... Go ahead.
What if I start having sex and someone pulls out a plunger and they go, I'm going to fuck you with this plunger now, and I'm like, wait, what? No.
There we go. That's even better.
I didn't sign up for that. I don't want to,
They're
fucking...
late!
Yeah. It's...
the wooden handle. No, the wooden handle's not going in. Rah!
I call it the plunger dilemma. I don't know which end would be worse. But yeah, like, so removing protections for transgender, it's a fucking mess. And then I have this weird, I don't know who to root for in this, but Assange is being fucking...
Yes, prosecuted by America. I'll tell you, is really based on who's making this charge as to how much I trust it. But I do not want him to be extradited to America because I'm pretty sure Trump will just pardon him. Then he'll be free.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the attack on the media because they're talking about how if this goes far enough south, they'll be able to
use that on other people.
Yeah,
that's the problem with monsters like Assange can then like loosen up libel laws for other people.
Well, the problem is like they'll then be able to go after anybody not only who leaked quote unquote secret documents, but then they'll be able to go after the news organizations that published them too. And that's fucking dangerous. They're trying to use the Espionage Act.
Yeah, so, if anyone didn't know, if secrets are leaked, you can then republish them for free because it's already out there in the public domain.
And they're trying to
like
change
this one
that.
newspaper once published like how to make a nuclear bomb, and they were going to be in a shitload of trouble until they proved, look, we went to this library. In this library, there is a book on how to make a nuke, and we just copied that and put it in the paper.
Yeah.
So it was already out there, so we can't get in trouble. And so that's how they avoided everyone in their office going to prison.
Yeah, and so it's pretty insane. So that's upsetting. I don't like Assange at all.
That was one of the cases that set the precedent for this, by the way.
We've just entered such a weird thing where I go, I don't know who the fuck I'm rooting against because it's all so bad.
Yeah. So, speaking of people you'd normally root against that you now might want to root for, Mosh, who is still a monster, don't get me wrong, but Mosh is the first Republican to call for Trump's impeachment. He said that he has read the Mueller report in full, and it is clearly an open and closed case that this guy should be impeached for this shit.
Yeah.
So this is the very first Republican to start calling for Trump's impeachment. Nancy Pelosi still isn't calling for his impeachment. She has said the I word. Trump has literally said the I word. Like he refers to it as they're saying the I word. But
idiot.
Their final impeachment's being floated by a lot of people now in a very serious manner. So
well,
we'll see what happens here.
I did some reading up on impeachment. I'm trying to find it again. But the president can be, or the officers of the government can be impeached. There's a specific phrase in the fucking Constitution, and I'm trying to find it right now. But it says basically you can be impeached for treason, high crimes, and then there's a weird thing where it's like other criminal offenses or something. Basically, it's been determined that means that they can impeach for whatever they want to, whatever Congress decides is impeachment. Oh, there it goes. Impeachment offenses include treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors under the Constitution. So, or other high crimes. That's the thing, meaning that they can pretty much impeach you for whatever they want.
They just haven't been exercising those rights.
Yeah. It's now to the point where I think we need to impeach. I think he needs to be removed.
Go ahead.
It's got to happen. We're to the point now where it's gone too far with this whole executive privilege, trying to stop subpoenas and stop people from testifying.
McGahn tried to testify. He was supposed to testify this week, but the White House ordered him not to. And McGahn is the one that Trump ordered to fire Mueller, right? So this is his Saturday night massacre that he avoided only because Don McGahn quit and bolted the fuck out of Washington to avoid doing this, right? He didn't want to go down in history as Nixon Part 2, so because he quit, Trump never had a Saturday night massacre, so this became a muddier case for impeachment instead of a direct case for it.
Well, it says,
but that shit still happened, so because the intent was still the same,
right,
he should still be impeached all the same, so they called McGahn to testify, and Trump said, no, you're not going to do that. So he blocked it, and the Senate once again had to speak to an empty chair. Last week they spoke to an empty chair with Barr. This week it was with McGahn. Trump keeps blocking this shit.
So Nixon...
impeachment needs to happen.
It said Nixon resigned before the full House could hold an impeachment vote,
right,
on a charge...
He saw the writing on the wall.
Right, on a charge of obstructing congressional inquiries into his conduct. So...
And that's exactly what just happened.
Yes, so Congress needs to do its job, and they're super worried about the fucking Senate not removing him, but the Senate can't do anything until you start the impeachment hearing in the House, and I think someone's got to get it going, and it needs to happen.
So, oh my God, it's 10:12, so we might need to enter the lightning round. They'll still have a ton of stuff. The Fourth Reich is starting to look closer to the Third Reich news. Turns out thousands of immigrants are being forced into solitary confinement by ICE for being physically disabled or gay. That means in America, under Trump, what historians should remember as the Fourth Reich is growing closer to the Third Reich's policies of singling out and murdering disabled and homosexual individuals.
I have an idea.
So,
let's do this as headline punchline. You do the headline, I'll do the punchline.
We're up to 6 dead children from baby cages. Punchline, Pete.
I was formulating a punchline for the previous one.
Okay.
Well, I guess those child-sized coffins will be cheaper than regular-sized coffins. Ooh.
Let's go back to the disabled and homosexual solitary confinement.
Well, I guess at least the solitary rooms were handicap accessible. Ooh. All my punchlines hurt.
Okay, on Fox News, Trump said, and I quote, "The Democrats can subpoena me and my administration for the next 10, 15, or 20 years, and we'll never capitulate. They will need to face the fact that I am in charge. This is my country, and I will do as I please. They have no control over me." Punchline, Pete.
You ain't got no strings on me. Fuck this dude. Well, I think maybe he's hedging his bets on he does know climate change is real, and he's like, we'll all be long dead when the planet burns. And I'm king of the trash heap.
Quick quick headline. Rex Tillerson secretly meets with the House Foreign Affairs Committee to talk about Trump.
Overweight men sit around day drinking, talking about the good old days. I don't know. Fucking
The
bad
financial records that Trump blocked people from being able to get their hands on. One judge said to do it. Trump said no. I'm gonna appeal that, and then that appeal landed on the desk of Judge Merrick Garland.
Sometimes, fucking, oh goddamn, I'm so bad at I'm so bad at this
Trump,
right now.
Trump melts down on live TV after hearing Pelosi say that he's involved in cover-ups, and he's like, "I don't do cover-ups."
Well, looking at his skin tone, maybe you should.
I just wanted to read down a list of all the ways in which Trump is covering stuff up. He did away with the White House visitor logs on day one. He won't release his tax returns. He had no sit down with Mueller. 11 accounts of obstruction in the Mueller report. Refuses to let anyone testify. Ended having daily briefings. Silences porn stars with payoffs and criminal acts of witness tampering. But I'm bum.
Well, with the White House visitor log, couldn't you just, I don't know, not sign it or just falsify it?
Let's see. What else is there? This is the problem with reading these things out of order, is that I'm like, which ones have I done? Crimes Against Humanity news. The acting Department of Homeland Security just told the Senate that every child in Border Patrol custody does not have access to a pediatrician.
Well, yeah, we're just...
Womp womp.
I mean, we're going to kill him anyway. Why would we want to send him to a doctor? We know how to kill kids. We don't need a doctor to tell us how to do it.
Yep. Is there anything else? No, that's all. That's everything.
Well, sorry those punchlines were so sad. God damn. Fucking...
It's all dead children and war crimes.
Yeah.
That's why Trump's trying to set the precedent that we pardon war criminals.
I guess
his administration is going to be nothing but war criminals by the end.
Yeah, that's true. Super duper true. I'm trying to think if I have any more. I think that's the most of my news for today. There was one guy, and New York got its own. It finally got its own real life supervillain. It was a guy who was pulling the emergency brake on trains randomly, and then I guess also exposing himself to people at the same time.
Ooh.
Well, they finally caught him, so.
Yay.
Yep. No punchline there. Just stopping trains and fucking hanging brain.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, at least you got someone to pay your bill, so you managed to make it to today's recording.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
Yes, and
so much. Well, why don't you fucking hit him with the goddamn socials so we can go on about our lives?
All right, the socials. You can contact us at thosemuckrakers@gmail.com or at thosemuckrakers on Twitter. Also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/thriftingtonpost. Subscribe to that channel and leave happy, fun comments. We've started to do new Mrs. B-Board episodes, so you can find them there if you want a pro-Trump side of the news, though it's very much like in the era of Stephen Colbert.
Oh, and one of
his
our
old show.
Oh, one of our fans had some feedback for you.
Oh, what was that?
She said you talk over me too much.
What? Yeah?
So I thought that was funny.
Tell her I'll talk over her.
I'll talk over your mom.
Talk over your mother.
Yeah. Well, that's all the news that's fit to spew. We hope you have a good week, and God, I hope things get better next week.
They won't.